It is time for women to come back to the table and come clean. $15 trillion pumped into the economy. There is no more money. There's about to be not a global recession, a global reset. Winter is coming.
A few years later.
My corporate job just fired me.
Black women can be the most educated demographic in the United States and still have the highest rate of unemployment amongst all workers. The next time you think about the notion of working hard, always recognize that everybody's work is not valued the same, which is why black women can be the most educated demographic and yet be the first demographic to hit unemployment. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics in April showed that black women lost 106,000 jobs last month. To the people in the back, when you point out DEI benefited all these other different groups first and them trying to ban it and decriminalize it ain't got nothing to do with black people, remember this statistic right here. The fact that black people got anything from DEI was too much, and that's the reason why you see our community, our demographics being hit the biggest when it comes to defunding and defunding and criminalizing DEI. Y'all don't find it suspicious that the demographic that overwhelmingly voted against Donald Trump is now facing the most economic hardships under Donald Trump? Manufactured or coincidental?
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So we got to talk about the alleged most educated demographic in this country facing mass layoffs, okay? As you guys know, the DEI party is over. A lot of these corporate jobs are cutting back on DEI. They're cutting back on HR. They're cutting back on a lot of these jobs and these roles that just happen to be filled with, again, a certain demographic, right? Also, the federal government is cutting back on the jobs as well, too. And again, there's a certain demographic that is being hit the hardest, okay? Again, the most educated demographic in this country, allegedly, right? This is what, they tell us all the time, right? That a certain demographic is the most educated demographic in this country.
I know that honestly you probably only got here because of your privilege, whereas I had to work 10 times as hard. What am I scared of when I know how many degrees I have versus how many you could never get?
That part.
So for me, when I
come on, Sarah.
They can say what they wanna, they can call me all kinds of names, but I know that I am a threat. I know that an educated people, especially an educated black woman, is the scariest thing that they could ever come across.
Yes!
You might have recall a news story from last year. There was some interest in the fire departments and the firefighters in California, and the interest was that there were too many white men who were firefighters, and we need to have a program in California to make sure we don't have enough white men as firefighters. So we have DEI, we have budget cuts, and yet I'm wondering now, if your house is burning down, how much do you care what color the firefighters are?
You can respond and then we'll...
Listen, I am so tired. You know what? There was an article that just came out that said that actually the most educated demographic in this country right now is black women.
There's no arguing it. Towson University's debate team wins, claiming an historic win. They are the first all-black women's team to win the Cross-Examination Debate Association's national championship. This morning, we have two of the team members here. We have Amina Ruffin and Corey Johnson, both here to talk about the major victory. Ladies, way to go. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You've made so many people proud in this area. Now we want to pick your brain a little bit as we admire your huge trophy, by the way. That's ridiculous. But I'm going to ask you first. We'll start with you, Amina. What was the topic, first of all?
The topic was restricting presidential war powers authority.
They say the always already queer. That's exactly the point. It means that the impact is not, that is an impact turn to the that it is a case turn to the affirmative, because we are saying that queer bodies are not able to survive. That it necessarily means that the body of is not able to survive.
We got the topic in about July, and we started doing our research then.
When the sees these pains and suffering, that he can only envision himself, that he does not see another that he can feel sympathy for or embrace, but rather that otherness gets obliterated.
And we've been supplementing our research throughout the season.
Man, so object, disfigured, lynch, and trauma enough. The insight, the trauma representation that central to the black child, devouring and identifying with the stories and images the white culture brought up to think and act subjectively like a white man, the black man.
So where do you go from there? You know, when you start preparing for a national competition, Once you know the topic, what's next?
Well, you do a lot of research.
Says that the way that the status quo works is through whiteness allowing, forcing other bodies to tell narrations of whiteness and the violences that whiteness does. We say that is the link that we will go for.
Yeah. So, again, my point is this, right? The most educated demographic in this country, for whatever reason, is facing the brunt of these layoffs from corporate America, okay? And they're now lashing out. They're lashing out on the internet about being laid off, okay? Because, again, they're the most educated, the most qualified, but for whatever reason, they're the first to be fired.
Y'all, my corporate job just fired me. I went in today all nicely dressed like I am, and they sat me down and told me they were letting me go. After 6 years at this company, I am no longer there. The reason, before y'all even get, to thinking that it was because of something that I posted on here, it was not. It was because of budget cuts, and not only was I let go, but others were too. So yeah, that was still surprising to me. I mean, I immediately asked in my, exit, just want to make sure that this is not about performance, and they clarified this is not about your performance. This is solely based on, us not getting the grants and these things that we thought we were getting, and us having to cut back. And so I had to write it all down as they were talking, because I had to make sure, what after 6 years?
I just got back from a hot girl walk, which was about 3.5 miles. So, walked around downtown Minneapolis. But real quick, I go through ups and downs of the morning and of losing my job. And in some moments I am so happy and so free, and I'm super excited. And in other moments I am so depressed and so disappointed in how much I put into something and it didn't work out.
108,000 Black women have lost their jobs or been terminated within the last few months. I'm a part of that group. FAMU is under attack by putting a Black woman that has no experience in higher education, is a Trump supporter, and is politically aligned to do his bidding at the institution. Meanwhile, other public HBCUs are under attack for funding. Look at A&T, Tennessee State, and privately held HBCUs are trying to keep their motherfucking head above water. Black women and Black men are fleeing the country in droves and going to other countries like Thailand and China, and even back to Africa.
By May 8th, 2025, 106,000 Black women lost their jobs, including me. And those of us that's been out here trying to find work again, it's basically just been non-existent. And I'm starting to feel like this is by design, because there are over 100,000 women, Black women like me, who have the same story, who has applied for over 300 plus jobs and just not getting it, not getting any replies. There's just no feedback. Or you get the emails that says, hey, we have chosen someone else that has been more qualified for the job, even though my experience and my education fits the job description perfectly. And I don't know what I'm going to do. This is the first time in a long time that I am actually starting to panic. I came from nothing. I came from the bottom of the barrel. And I spent years building myself, educating myself, paying my way through college, going through a lot of experience to get to
where I was in my career, for it just to be snatched away. And I don't know what I'm going to do. I am facing homelessness. I'm about to lose my car. I can't pay on my credit card, so my credit is about to take a severe hit. Dashing is not enough. It's just not enough money. There's so many people that are out here unemployed just like me.
Incredibly difficult to be a Black woman, but it's even more difficult to be a Black woman who is not smiley. When I saw this article, I was shocked but not surprised, disappointed, but yet, can I really be that disappointed? Black women, especially those of us who voted overwhelmingly for a different option, we're going to face backlash on some level. The reality is that a lot of federal workers are or were Black women. I've been thinking a lot about how difficult it is to be a Black woman at work, especially when you are not a smiley Black woman. I am her. She is me. I am not a smiley Black woman. Blame it on the Capricorn in me. If you see me smiling and laughing, you know it's genuine.
I'm going to talk about the unemployment rate within Black women. Now, the month-over-month increase in unemployment rate is at 1%. However, that 1% is high. So we went from 5.1% to 6.1%. Now, the unemployment rate in white males also increased by 1%, but their unemployment rate is low. It's like in the 3s or something like that. So let's talk. Do y'all think the U.S. is trying to wage a silent war against Black women because they know if they was to say something and make it loud, we would combat it? But I think they're trying to do it silently. We are the strongest group of demographic people in the United States. Think about it. The Latin community, they voted against their own self-interest. I think even at a higher rate within each other, they are divided. White women are divided. White males are divided. Black males is not as strong as us in their numbers and how they vote. We have the strongest united front, and that's dangerous. And then we're also educated, and that's dangerous. So I think they're trying to silently knock us down because they are adding jobs at a higher rate than our unemployment rate. And they're not caring about us. They're not talking about Black women is losing their jobs. Like Black women lost 106,000 jobs in the month of April alone. And we are typically the head of household. They're not talking about it. I know we're on break, but this is something that we need to talk about. It's a lot of us. We all have a group think sometimes when it's in our best interest. And we're all educated. We can get together and let's figure this stuff out. Let's talk about it. Let's get this trending. I don't care what that white woman talking about. I don't care about her. Let's talk about this because we are taking care of these kids. When these kids are hungry, they're looking to us. When they need something, they are looking to us.
It's almost as if without the government subsidizing these federal jobs with these federal programs like DEI, which corporate America signed up for, that's also a subsidy because they don't return a positive investment. Okay. It's almost as if they don't have any real job skills outside of their basket weaving degree, right? Which is not a job skill. It's almost as if they wouldn't have been hired. It's almost as if they need a man, right? It's almost as if you're not so strong and independent without a subsidy, right? Ain't it amazing how that works, right? It's fascinating. It really is, okay? What happened to the strong, independent woman? It seems as if the whole strong, independent Black woman thing comes with a caveat, right? And that independence is dependent on the government. It's dependent on a subsidy, right? It's dependent on something else outside of the amazing talent and education that these women claim that they have. You know, I'm just saying, it's very fascinating stuff. Because, again, this is actually a real thing, okay? As, again, there are multiple news articles out here highlighting the struggle that the strong, independent black woman is going through without DEI in these federal jobs. And I want to read about it because, again, this is actually like a huge thing. Like, this is a real mass layoff, okay? Let's actually read about this because, again, this is fascinating stuff. Black women workers lost more jobs than any other demographics in April, according to a report. While the overall unemployment rate for April 2025 remained unchanged, stats released by the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics show that black women lost 38,000 jobs and their unemployment went up by 106,000, according to Creative Investment Research. Bloomberg notes the unemployment rate for black women was a full percentage point higher at 6.1% compared to 5.1% in March, and this rate has been on the rise since February 2024. Some of the steady decline in their employment is partially attributed to the decline in the workforce as a result of initiatives being pushed by the Trump administration. As Afrotech previously told you, it struck down diversity, equity, and inclusion DEI initiatives at the federal level, and many corporations have followed suit to ensure their policies are in alignment. Black women workers at the federal level have declined by an estimated 33% within the last year in comparison to a 3.7% drop across the workforce overall per Bloomberg. Wow. Wow, that's fascinating. That is interesting because I was told by Roland Martin, by all of these other people, that DEI primarily benefits the white woman, right? So why is it that when DEI is being erased from the federal workforce and corporate America, why is it that black women are taking most of the brunt? If it primarily it benefits white women, right? Something's not adding up here. It's almost as if these people were making that up, right? It's almost as if these people were coping when they claim that, well, DEI mostly benefits white women. It's almost as if DEI was a subsidy for black women to have high-paying jobs, these corporate jobs, these fancy titles that they otherwise wouldn't have, that don't actually really produce a positive return on investment, right? These companies don't benefit from these jobs, right? They don't contribute to the bottom line. In fact, again, the company loses money from these jobs because otherwise they would keep the jobs, right? If the jobs actually contributed to the bottom line, then there's no reason why there would be so many layoffs if the jobs were beneficial, right? Ain't it amazing how that works, right? It's pretty fascinating, okay? Very, very, very fascinating what we're seeing here, okay? It's almost as if we were lied to, right? As if we were gaslit about who actually benefits the most from DEI, okay? Quote, the unusual nature of this increase in black women's unemployment is a testament to and a direct result of the anti-DEI and anti-black focus of the administration's policies. William Michael Cunningham, an economist and owner of Creative Investment Research, explained to Black Enterprise, quote, this is demonstrably damaging to the black community, something we have not seen before. No, I don't think it's damaging to the black community at all, right? I think that, honestly, if all of these women, if they go out and they go find themselves a nice, hardworking man, right, and they, try to start families, right, I think they're going to be much better off, okay? I think that actually is going to be a net positive for the black community, right? I'm not one of these people that believes that the strong, independent black woman is a good thing for black people or black families. I don't think that's a good thing. I think that overall is a bad thing, okay? I think if these women, if they go out here and they take their fancy degrees, okay, and they go get another job and they go find a man, right, and they get some stability in their life, then I think they're going to be much better off, to be honest with you, right? I think that hopefully this can, show them that they, in fact, do need a man, right? You, in fact, are not as independent as you think you are. This was echoed by Andre Imperi, senior fellow at the Brookings Institution, who pointed to the overall economy decline. He also added Trump's recent tariffs as another layer to the statistics around black women and their unemployment rate. Yeah, so you see that, you heard that. I mean, hey, what can you say? What can you say? I mean, again, these people told me this is the most educated demographic in this country. If that is true, these women should have no issues finding another job, right? They should be getting picked up like that, right? I mean, they should be the hottest commodity on the job market right now, right? They should be getting hired first. since they're so talented, right? In fact, I'm still trying to figure out why they got laid off. Okay, since they're so educated and since they're so independent and they don't need a man, right? I'm just trying to figure out what's going on here. What am I missing? Somebody tell me. Somebody tell me. Oh, it must be the white man's fault, right? That has to be what it is, right? It's the white man's fault. This is what they'll do. They'll turn around and they'll blame the white man and say it's his fault. Okay, I'm just saying. Anyways, hey, let me know what you guys think about this, okay? I am shocked because I thought this was the most educated demographic in this country. They were the most talented, okay? And that they were outworking everybody else. So I'm trying to figure out why are they receiving a vast majority of the layoffs when it comes to DEI. I thought this benefited white women only. I don't know what's going on. Somebody let me know. Somebody educate me. Somebody fill me in. I'm not a part of the most educated demographic in the country. So maybe I'm ignorant. But hey, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.